Hello everyone and welcome back to A Bit Tactical, where today I'm going to be doing a bit of a content update for the channel, just about how the Aquilons guide is going to work going forward and the next few videos that are going to be coming out because things are changing. I also want to talk about the Kasrkin, obviously, and the Aquilons a little bit more in depth than in the very quick schizophrenic video I made at 6 in the morning off of no hours of sleep, just because I was so excited for the balanced dataslate to come out that I stayed up all night. But yeah, first things first, the Aquilons guide is probably on hold, and it's for a few different reasons. One, all the games I played now kind of feel moot, because adding that extra operative actually changes so much, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it's on hold until I can reassess and come out with A, correct information, and B, useful tips and strategies for you guys. And then tomorrow, actually, because listen, the Kasrkin, they're my first team, they're my favorite team. For a while, a lot of people thought this was a Kasrkin only team or only channel, and they're kind of not wrong. It's just that there's only so much you can cover. But I'm gonna do an in-depth looking into the rules tomorrow, where basically basically how I do with all the guys, except it's just gonna be with the new specific rules and cool things that you can just off the bat I thought of immediately as soon as I read those rules. Which is just, I'm really excited for that. So that video will be coming out tomorrow. Then again, I want to get at least one game in with the Aquilons with the new rules, just to see how they feel. Yeah, just before I keep going with the guide. So yeah, again, there's going to be a little bit of delay. Hopefully I have some other videos out for you guys. But yeah, let's start with the Kasrkin. The Kasrkin, all those changes are really, really good. Like, it's not just that the new changes made them stronger. They did. They got rid of some of the caveats, and I think that this team is now what GW wanted them to be a little bit in the beginning, which is having this stacking of weapon rules on top of weapon rules on top of weapon rules, right? Like, just from all the equipment and deploys, you actually do have, and just what the operators themselves have, you actually do have access to a lot of weapon rules to make your shooting attacks really powerful. But now you have, with this recon trooper with his scanning thing, where now there's a synergy between all the different pieces of equipment and all of everything now, right? Because before, you had contradictions within the rules, right? If you had light 'em up, you had to be shooting at somebody who was ready. But if you're shooting at somebody that's ready, you can't use neutralize target, because that's only against people who are not ready. So there was just those small contradictions and caveats that made it so that you couldn't really synergize well with everything. But now, those caveats are still there. But if you have your recon trooper and he has his Auspex scan ability, now that's completely mitigated, because now all of those people within that 8-inch bubble are scanned, and now you can have light 'em up, and you can use neutralize target, and you can use elimination pattern. So now you have severe. Now you can re-roll everything. Now you have piercing crits 1, right? And because you have severe, you automatically you get that. So you're doing more damage as going through than it would otherwise. A lot of things are made better by what happened here. I also like to change to 4 Kadia, where you're doing a little bit more damage with your strikes. It is just with 1, but if you have the power weapon with your sergeant, that means that a crit is doing 7 damage, which is really good. On some horde teams that just automatically kills them. So I'm really excited about a lot of these changes, and I just want to play with them so bad. So bad. So because of that, I do want to spend some time with the Kasrkin again, come out with a video doing the rules, and then come out, I think, with a Killteam tactic about some stuff that I think you're going to be able to do with them now. With everything, like your recon trooper has become the MVP, right? Not only does he have relocate for free, so technically he's like a super mobile operative, but now he makes it so that there's this synergy between everything with your Kasrkin, with their abilities. Then you have the sergeant getting the ability to give an extra skillet arms to somebody, so somebody could be rocking 2 skillet arms, which is really nice. It can be really nice, right? Damage mitigation, right? If you have, what you can technically do, especially because it's 0 CP, like you could give somebody, and you could it would be a huge application of resources. You can make sure everybody has damage mitigation, and then you give somebody Forcadia, and now they're doing a little bit more damage, right? So they charge into somebody, they're taking less damage for one hit, right? They're doing more damage for one hit, and then they're getting that extra hit. It makes it so that you can kind of create this amalgamation of like different pieces of equipment with your combat blades, the 2 faction rules, and then you can create a sort of quasi good melee specialist that isn't just a sergeant, which is really nice, which is really good. And then of course clearance sweep also got an upgrade. Instead of balance, it's now ceaseless. I think that's really, really good, right? Because your Kasrkin, they hit on 3s, so they're only missing on 2s and 1s. And I don't know why, maybe this is just me, or maybe I'm just crazy. I feel like whenever I miss on teams that hit on 3s, it's always 2. And it's always I get 2 2s. I hate that so much. I hate that I get 2 2s. 2 2s is like, I'm stuck in my brain constantly, 2 2s. Every single, I'm traumatized by them. So yeah, I like all these changes. I really want to try them out on the board. I'm going to do it this Sunday, I think. And then hopefully I can get another game in or 2 with the Aquilons, so I can continue that guide. I should probably prioritize them, but I'm such a fan of the Kasrkin. I love the Kasrkin. I want to play them. So yeah, let's move on to the Aquilons. So with the Aquilons and their changes, right? The precursor getting ceaseless, that I think is really good. It makes him a little bit better because he is kind of lackluster. He's been really lackluster in all the games I played with him. So him having a little bit of something cool like that, I think is really good. Hot drop now being able to be used throughout the entire game instead of only in 2 turning points. Obviously, that's good. That should have been the case forever. It was insane that it wasn't. I mean, even in the beginning of the edition, I believe it was just for people that dropped. They didn't even have the vantage. Didn't have like where you can drop from vantage and use hot drop. It was just dropping from drop insertion, which was insane. But now it's fixed, or it's a lot better. I think it's good now. However, the big change is that there's an entire, not a new operative, but an extra operative that you can. It is an 11 operative kill team now, which truly means this is a 1-box kill team, dude. All 11 models that come in that box, you can use every single one of them. You only ever have to buy 1 box, unless you want to go for an all-trooper build, which is really cool. That should really be the standard for kill teams, but it's not. Whatever. But I don't think people realize how insane this is. Like, especially with the way the rules are for the Aquilons with the drop insertion ability, right? Because you're dropping your people in thirds in the first turning point, right? So you're going to start with 4 on the ground, then their second batch is going to be 4 in the sky, and then your third batch is going to be 3 in the sky. So 7 people in turning point 1 are going to be in the sky, and you still only have to drop 2 of them, because going to turning point 2, more than half of your team has to be set up on the ground. With 11 model kill team, that's 6. So 6 of your people are going to be down the ground, and then 5 will be up in the sky, which is big, which is huge. You can have... I actually can't even explain to you how good that is, dude. Because it's always a battle of who you want up in the sky, turning point 2. That's a big thing with the Aquilons. Who are you going to have in there? Now, it's not as big of a choice. Now you can have more people up there. Now it's like you have much more versatility than you did before. You can take a little bit more risk, especially since you now have a tank and you have your reliable shooting with your marksman. It's just it's a powerful change. I think people are going to be playing them a lot more now, and I think they will be winning more with them. Like, I'm trying to think back on the games that I had. If I had one extra operative, how would that have changed the game? And I think it would have changed it in a big way. I mean, this is a team that hits on 3s, has 8 wounds. Half of them are obscured for, like, the big turning point 2. They're obscured no matter where they are, right? Unless somebody comes up and shoots them within 2 inches. So this is just a really insane thing to happen. It's really good, though. Like, just think about this. In Gallo Dark, right? If you're going up against an elite team with the Tempestus Aquilons, you have 5 in the air during turning point 2. You can legitimately be an elite killer, right? If you drop down and you have your turret, which has a crack grenade, you have your gunfighter, which is able to shoot twice, and trust me when I say this, the ability for him to shoot twice to, like, either do chip damage or finish off an elite team. I did it twice, and 2 times it worked. Your Meltas, obviously, going to be able to do a heavy amount of damage. Your Precursor as well, being able to be dropped in, and again, doing that quick 7 damage, right? If you have severe, if you just land a crit and a hit. Now you have Ceaseless with the Precursor, right? So you really could, your chances of getting a crit are really, really good. So there's so much damage that can go into this team. If you do it right, especially with Drop Augury giving you that versatility to move around, you could wipe, with those 5 operatives, you could wipe more than half of an elite team, even against Plague Marines, which have disgusting amount of resilience. You're just putting so much damage through. If you use, I forget what it's called, I'm not going to look it up, but if you get Severe with use a CP for Severe, against ready operatives, right? Or your Balance. All of these things together can create, it's just such a deadly team. It's such a deadly team now. With 5 operatives in the air, turning point 2, I'm like salivating just thinking about it. And you no longer have to choose between the marksman and the servo sentry. Insane. Like, your marksman is now better because he's not taking up a slot, which means I feel more than comfortable sneaking him around, having him concealed, waiting until he gets into a very good position, positioning him correctly so that I can get full advantage of his abilities, of his silent keyword, all of that. I feel okay waiting into turning point 3 or even 4 to get a really good shot off with him, because I consider him to be the extra operative. He's just icing on the cake. Everybody else is essential. He's icing on the cake. So moving him around, not really doing much with him other than getting into a good position to get that devastating shot, to get Severe with his Vantage ability. All of that, I feel way more comfortable doing it. But all that to say is I'm super excited about these changes. I think they're really good. I wish I knew more about all the other teams, or I had those teams to play with so I could speak about them as well. But I don't, so I won't. And that's going to be the end for this video. Again, the Aquilons guide is going to be on hold a little bit until I can get some games in and really get a better comprehension of the team now with this 11 operatives, which it does change it. I think it changes it a lot. So, yeah, sorry for anyone who was excited. Hopefully I can get back on it really, really quick. But there are going to be at the very least 2 Kasrkin videos coming up, because the Kasrkin, I know that my heart, okay? I know that my heart, I can pull out strategies for you guys right now, off the cuff. I don't even need to think about it. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.